Right then guys, so a quick disclaimer and covering point on the title of the video. So ideally this video would have been titled 500 kg leg press 1 week out. That's what I wanted, but my hamstring wasn't playing games, it wasn't having it today. Over the last couple of days my hamstrings felt a little bit tight, but I've not really thought anything of it. It's not been too bad. A little bit of a tweak here and there when posing. This morning when I was posing, my lower back tweaked quite sharply, which wasn't ideal, it wasn't, pleasant. But again, I didn't think anything of it really. But then went into the session today, feeling good, looking forward to the leg press. Jumped on the adductor, everything felt good. I'm currently running a D-volume week, or likely D-volume up until the show. So we're 8 days out as of today talking, it'll be a week out as of upload. So yeah, we're running a D-volume week just because I was feeling really beat up, really tired, struggling to progress or at least even maintain on a lot of my sessions. So we've literally dropped everything to 1 set, so every exercise is 1 set. Compounds are 8 to 10 generally, isolations are 12 to 15. On some things when I've got numbers already and I don't want to have to go heavier to get an 8 to 10 on, like the compounds, I'll stay on the same load and just try and beat the reps. So like for example the pendulum today, I aimed to beat 13 on the same weight. I didn't want to try and go heavier, especially with how my hamstring felt. So adductor was fine, jumped onto the seated hamstring curl and still felt okay. Just felt a little bit of a bruising feeling really, and that's kind of all it feels like now, but a lot worse. It feels like to touch it's really tender, walking isn't comfortable. If I try and contract the hamstring it's really uncomfortable, trying to pose is uncomfortable. I think trying to do like an RDL on Monday is just, fingers crossed, if it just recovers miraculously then amazing, I can do it, but doing an RDL on Monday isn't really going to be sensible. So doing the hamstring curl, it felt okay, but I could feel on the eccentrics that the left side wasn't really taking as much of the load. So there's a sort of a telltale sign there that something's not right. Jumped into the leg extension again. Obviously it was only 1 set on the hamstring curl, so during the warm-ups it felt okay. It didn't feel like I shouldn't do it, and it didn't feel like I shouldn't do it on the top set. It didn't feel anything drastic, it just felt a bit bruised and a bit odd. On the leg extension, obviously not a hamstring movement, but I could feel it pressing obviously against the seat, and it felt bruised again, so I was a bit like, it's a bit weird this. So what I did was I got the massage gun on it. That if you watched the last video you'll have seen the massage gun. I got the massage gun on it, and if anything it made it worse, which isn't ideal when I'm sort of basically trying to go on about the benefits in the last video, but they generally are great. I just, for some reason with this, I don't know exactly what it is, but it seemed to aggravate it and almost make the bruising feel worse. So I was warming up on the leg press, the normal Cybex leg press, and it just wasn't happening. All that was in my mind was my hamstring's going to pop. Every single rep on the eccentric I could feel it really tight. Just feels like a real bruise, like that's all I can think of sort of describing it. I can't feel like a knot, it feels inflamed and it feels swollen compared to the other side, but just feels really bruised. I'm not sure exactly what's done it, but I'm pretty sure it's all connected with my sciatica, my tight lower back on the left side, my tight piriformis, glute. It's all related, which is frustrating, but it is what it is. So anyway, we couldn't leg press, or I couldn't leg press. Reese could leg press still. But the pendulum was fine, nice low stance, really quad dominant. I felt, again, every rep on this, like on the concentric, just out the hole, I could feel it pulling a little bit, but it didn't feel like I was worried. It wasn't stretching it, and it didn't feel like, oh god, it could go. So I wasn't worried with that, and I actually got 2 reps up on the pendulum, which felt great. I apologise for a lot of these clips in the background looking like I filmed on a potato. I didn't film on a potato. I filmed on my phone on a lot of it, and Reese's phone on these 2 sets. And Reese had to send them to me, and AirDrop wasn't working, so he sent them on WhatsApp, which lowers the quality of videos and photos. So there's some value in this video for you. If you send photos or videos on WhatsApp, it reduces the quality of the image or the video. So there's your value for the whole video. Anyway, that's why these 2 movements look like I filmed on a potato. But I went onto the pin loaded leg press and did a constant tension higher rep set with again a lower, closer stance to reduce the amount of hamstring involvement. So the reason that when we do a lower and closer stance, some more value here, that provides more quad stimulus is because you're going to create more knee flexion. So if you do like a bodyweight squat stood up now, if you put your feet really far apart and wide and out in front of you and you try and squat, it's going to be a massively hip dominant squat, and there's not going to be a lot of knee flexion, but there's going to be a lot of hip flexion. Whereas when you then bring your feet really close together and go in a narrow low stance, it creates a lot more knee flexion and a lot less hip flexion. Your hips pretty much sit down straight into your heels rather than pushing back. So so yeah, that's why I opted for obviously going into a lower, closer stance for those movements to try and take the hamstring out. I then did the single leg hamstring curl, obviously just on my right leg. I didn't do my left leg, as well as some calves on the pin loaded leg press, which obviously felt fine. But again, even on the calves, like I could feel my left side, it was a little bit just fatigued. That I could feel when I was pressing, my left hamstring was burning, and it's odd. And then finished off with some abs. So I didn't do any, well, I did the abductor, but I didn't film it. But I didn't do the glute drive as I normally would, because that would definitely aggravate the hamstring. And then, you know, it's just a case of at this time in prep, I'm trying to, you know, analyze whether is it worth, you know, doing a set like on the glute drive and trying to take it to failure or anywhere near failure, when realistically I'm not going to be building muscle now. You know, even just one set isn't really going to be the be all and end all in maintaining muscle. The main reason that I obviously want to keep training and work around the hamstring is just for a bit of a stimulus, a bit of blood into the muscle, and basically, you know, a bit of nutrient delivery of the carbohydrates that I'm going to be consuming over the next week or so in peak week. And the high days that I have, you know, I don't really want to have not trained at all a given body part for however long, a week or more. So we just need to work around it. And, you know, the main thing is that I don't let it stress me out, which is very hard, but you know, what's the point of letting it do that? All that's going to do is make me feel worse and look worse. So I just got to, you know, keep level headed and just get on with things. And like I say, I still had a good session in terms of working around it, but it's not ideal. So we'll see how we get on Monday. We'll be filming on Monday with Joe. We'll be filming the pull session, so I'll be discussing the hamstring then. So basically I then went through some posing, so I'll kind of chat through the posing now. Again, apologies for the quality of the video. So obviously still working a lot on my posing. Every single morning I'll be posing for about half an hour, and then at the end of my posing I'll send the check-in photos to AJ. It still needs a lot of work, and you know, I've only got a week really to make sure it's perfect, but it's getting better and better, and my posing fitness is getting better and better as well. Like I say, not ideal after the legs in terms of one, the hamstring not feeling great, but two, the fact that obviously when your legs, after you train legs, they're going to be inflamed, so you're not really going to see as much detail in your legs. But yeah, relatively happy with where I'm at. I do feel like I could potentially be leaner, but then it's just going to pull away from the fullness and the muscle that I've got. So you know, and a lot of people think, you know, you can't be leaner than that, like, but I definitely could. But also then it's a case of weighing up that balance between whether it's, could I get leaner and just look worse, which I would, or, you know, be a little bit less lean, a little bit of a fuller look, and just try and make the most of the muscle mass that you've got when you're, you know, not that well muscled and natural, which in my opinion is probably the better option until you've got a good enough amount of muscle mass and enough muscle maturity and density. I don't think as a natural you can get absolutely peeled and look at your best. Don't get me wrong, you'll look good, of course you'll look good, but it's weighing up that balance between looking peeled but looking absolutely tiny, or looking a little bit less peeled and looking like you've got a bit of muscle mass, which in my opinion as a first timer is probably the best option really. So in terms of the posing, I just need to keep working on switching my glutes on really, which again is really hard because of this sciatica, so the connection with my glutes is poor, and keeping them switched on is really quite tough. And to be honest, I'm trying to not overthink it because it just takes away from the whole shot. If I'm overthinking keep your glute on, keep your glute on, keep your glute on, I'm forgetting about all the other things that I need to think about when I'm posing. So, you know, if it means that I don't have lines in my glute when I'm posing on some shots, or they switch on and off, then, you know, yeah, it's not ideal, but one of these things when, again, as a first-time competitor, it's something I will work on and will have to work on in the off-season. I'll definitely be working on my glute movements and my connections with my glutes and growing them for one, but also just improving my connection for when it comes to posing. So yeah, that's the posing. I'll leave the video here. So basically, guys, I'll be releasing a video every single day over the next week. So this will be live Sunday morning, Sunday the 11th, and then I'll be releasing a video every day up until show day. So it'll be 7 days out, 6 days out, 5 days out, 4 days out, all the way to show day, and they'll basically be a day behind. So I'll upload on every evening at 8 PM, and it'll be the day before. So if I upload Monday night at 8, it'll be Sunday that the video was filmed through. When I upload on Tuesday night, it'll be Monday's video, Wednesday night, Tuesday's video. And I've got, you know, a lot of cool things planned throughout the week. Obviously it's just going to be, you know, my day-to-day routines, but there's a few things that obviously will be slightly different in peak week. There'll be the check-ins every morning as well, and the plan of action for every day. So I'm looking forward to those. Hopefully you'll all stay tuned for those. That'd be great if we can get, you know, a lot of people following along and just, you know, watching the journey, yeah. Journey, it's just a bit of a cringy word, isn't it, when you call it a journey. Anyway, let's leave it there. So like the video, please, guys, if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button, that'd be great. They're still growing, which is awesome to see. Yeah, so I'll see you all in the next video.